So welcome to Wednesday Online, and I think this session is a really good opportunity to just create flow, work where we need to with the core, and just enjoy the yoga practice, and then we can pull it apart if you're joining me a class, or I can hop online to help you. So we're going to start standing. We're going to come into Tadasana and just allow ourselves to take a moment. So welcome. Allowing the feet just to gently ground on the mat and center yourself. So you've got weight in your heels, your toes, and then out to the side of the foot. Lifting those arches gently and just engage through the inner leg. And then take a moment, maybe just to soften the eyes and connect with the breath. And then bringing the hands together at the heart, bringing the heels of the hands together and engaging gently the core and the lower ribs. We're going to just take a moment with the breath. So inhaling, opening the arms. Exhaling, bringing the hands together. Dropping the chin, inhaling, lifting high. Exhaling, hands back down to the heart. Inhaling, open. Exhaling, hands together. Chin to the chest, lift and stretch through the front body. Hands all the way to the heart. And take the hands gently beside you, and we're going to step one foot behind the other and just stretch into that back heel. And then the hand that is just nearest the knee at the front, we're going to just lift gently up and stretch back. And then bring the other hand up and stretch the other way. Just working gently with the breath. Inhale. And the exhale. Hands come to center, step back. Step to the other side. Allow yourself to drop into that heel. And again. Play with the hands, lifting high, stretching through the side body, and then lifting on the opposite side, different stretch. Back and forwards, just moving, starting to move the body, stretching away, all the way back to center, and draw yourself back to Tadasana. And we're going to come to the top of the mat and take a moment to loop the shoulders gently down. Draw the hands gently behind you and stretch through the front body, maybe taking the gaze a little higher. Gently releasing the hands, planting the feet. Inhale, lift, sweep the hands high. Soft shoulders, hands to the heart. Inhale, exhale, fold. And take a moment, just lifting the heels, stretching through the legs, bending the knees if you wish. Bring some movement into this. And then allow just a still forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Step to plank. And just find your base pose here. So make sure you're pressing into the fingertips. Make sure your gaze is long. Maybe to the front of the mat if that allows you to create length in the body. Pushing away from the mat. Bend the knees, lift the hips high, down dog. And pad the feet here. Take a little bit of movement side to side, maybe just circling the ankle. Back and forwards one side. And the opposite side. And coming into a still down dog. So bending the knees, lift the hips and allow weight into the feet as well as the hands. So someone suggested really quite a good analogy actually. And if you imagine being scooped up at the waist, that's a really nice to pull you up and hang you up. That's kind of the feeling here. So we're just tucking in those lower ribs, tucking in the core, allow that neck to lengthen. Then we're going to bend the knees and step or hop to the top of the mat and bring ourselves all the way back up to Tadasana. Take a moment with the fingers if you wish, just to give the wrists a little warm up. Push into the feet. Loop the shoulders back and just work with the breath with an inhale. And on the exhale, just tucking gently the lower ribs, the belly. So we've just got a gentle, engaged core. And then just let the breath work a little. Relax. Inhale again. Exhale, tuck gently those lower ribs in and gently the core, relaxing the shoulders. And just allowing that firmness while you're continuing to breathe. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, hands to the heart. Sink into chair. Sink at the ankles, sink at the knees. Pushing gently the heels of the hands together. Sink a little deeper. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold again. Let's leave that right foot at the front of the mat and step into low lunge. Sweep the hands high, low lunge, crescent moon. Hands frame the foot. Step to runner's lunge and push into the heel. And breathe. Gaze to the front of the mat. You might be just gently on the fingertips. Quite like this kind of squashy mat. Gives me a little bounce here. Knee comes all the way back down to the mat. We're going to come into a runner's split. So we're just looping back, allowing to roll back on that front foot. You might need to walk it forwards. Stretching through. Now you can lift those toes, or you can actually point them, whatever you feel. And breathe. Roll forwards onto the foot, bring yourself up into runner's lunge, gaze forwards. And then step to plank. And just allow a little bit of a walking here, movement. And we're going to vinyasa. So if you want to bring these to the mat first, you're very welcome. Or bring yourself towards the mat. I'm going to come to Bhujangasana to start. Elbows in, chin tucked in, inhale, lift. Exhale down. Inhale again, Bhujangasana, lift. And if you want, just a little gaze to the left, a little gaze to the right, all the way back down. Push all the way to plank and all the way to down dog. Walking or hopping towards the front of the mat, Uttanasana, rising all the way back up to mountain. Loop the shoulders back. Inhale, soft arms, lifting. Forward fold as we fold. Inhale, flat back. Forward fold. And then step to low lunge on the other side. Facing the knee and then lifting arms high. Low lunge, crescent moon. Lovely length through the front body. And forget just soften the arms, don't forget that. So not lifting, pinching to the ears. We're going to just frame the foot, step up to runner's lunge. Pushing through the heel, gaze comes higher, looking forwards. And keep that breath moving. Placing the knee back, we're going to roll on that heel of the front foot. You might need to just adjust. Try and keep yourself central as well. And that foot can stretch if you wish. That's optional. You might feel a nice stretch if the toes are raised towards you. And rolling all the way back up, stepping back to runner's lunge. Gaze comes forwards, pushing back into the heel. Step to plank. And then bring the knees as wide as the yoga mat, toes together. Allow the hands to soften and bring yourself to child's pose. And we're going to breathe into the sides of the body here. Allowing that stretch into the back. And that inhale and exhale. And gently draw yourself all the way back up to all fours. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And take a moment with cat-cow. The exhale and inhale. Back and forwards. Remember to claw into the fingers. Protect those wrists. Working back and forwards. And then coming to flat back. We're going to take the right arm out. We're going to thread the needle. So we're going to just gently take the arm out to the side and allow that arm to thread through. Now you can use a cushion for the side of your head if you wish, or you can play with some extensions here. So it could extend the leg long and the arm long, the top arm. You can take a bind. There's lots of different options here, or you can just take a gentle pose. And breathe into this stretch. Big deep breaths. Filling the lungs. And then gently coming back to center. Taking a moment to find that base pose. And then extending the arm gently on the other side, threading underneath our arm. And then finding a modification to suit. It might be that you want to take that top arm behind the back into a bind, or keep the leg down. Lots of options here. I'm going to stretch through the legs. And just start to work with the breath here. You can always bring that shoulder down to a pillow to help. Breathing into the sides of the body. All the way back to center. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, and we're going to come to hovering cat. So just take a moment to find your base pose, and then just gently bring the knees off the mat, pushing the mat away from you. Gaze down between the thumbs. All the way back down, and we're going to come off our wrists, and we're going to take our hands into a forearm position. So give yourself space, shoulder width or slightly wider, walking the knees back. And we're actually going to take the arms forwards a little and not scoop the back too much. Just allow ourselves just a little gentle puppy pose here. My chest is not going too far. I'm not kind of putting too much pressure on my shoulders, and my head is off the mat. Gently. And then I'm going to come forwards onto the forearms, bringing the body to the mat. Lengthen the legs and allow the gaze to come to the front of the mat. And gently take inhale and exhale here. Broadening across the back, pushing into those forearms. And then we're going to scoop the feet up and just allow a little stretch if you wish. You could keep the legs down if it's too much. And you can take this pose a little further if you really would like to. You can just gently allow the arms and the hands to tuck round. Just take gently the tips of our toes and just very gently allow a little stretch in bow pose. But you don't have to go that far. And you can keep the legs straight and just allow a little locust pose here. Just allowing the arms and the hands to hover. The chin to tuck into the chest. It's really wherever you are. And then draw and allow the body just to settle. Hands come to the front of the mat. Elbows in. Bhujangasana. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And then allow yourself to push back to child's pose. Hips all the way back. And stretch the body out. Breathing into the back. Move forwards, all the way back up to stacked back position. We're going to just walk the hands gently. We're going to move to down dog. So tucking the toes. Lifting the hips, keeping the knees bent generously. Allow yourself
yourself to come into down dog. Allow that neck to relax. Weight into the feet. Claw at the fingers, push that mat away from you. And then step, hop or jump to the top of the mat. And then bring yourself back up to mountain. Loop the shoulders back when you arrive. And take a moment in mountain. Hands are going to come to the heart and we're going to float. Take a moment to find your base pose here. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to play with Warrior One and Goddess. So we're going to step gently to Warrior One, hands to the heart. Really push into the heels. That allows that leg to be firm. Just gently hug in the lower ribs and the core. Allow the shoulders to just gently relax. And sweep the hands, Warrior One, inhale. Optional, you can bring the hands together if you wish. And then hands draw back to the heart. We're going to turn to the side of the mat, turning the feet out, hands to the heart. Sink gently down into Goddess legs. Adjust if you need. And then bring the arms gently, hugging those lower ribs in very gently. Firm feet. Hands come back into heart. And we're going to lift the heels if it's available to you. Even sink a little deeper if you wish. Heels come back down. Arms out to Goddess. Take a big deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Hands come back to the heart. And we can mandala, so we can turn to the back of our mat and turn ourselves to Warrior One at the back of the mat. Hands to the heart. Inhale, lift high, Warrior One. Gaze forwards, length through that front body, pushing into the heels. Hands to the heart. Turning to the side of the mat, we're going to bring the feet turned in this time. Gently turned in. We're going to push through those heels, bend the knees, we're coming to wide fold. So remember, we're hinging from the waist. All the way, inhale, lift up, pushing into the feet. We come all the way, keeping that neck integrated into the spine as we come halfway. If you wish, you can then start to soften the body and allow yourself to come to the mat. Or if that is too far, then just keep hands to the hips or hands to the heart. And just have a stretch here. You might want to just lift the toes and the heels. You might find that the head comes a little lower, playing with the width of the feet. You might find the hands start to walk in line with the feet. You might find the head starts to come down to the mat or use a block. wherever you are, just having a play or taking movement, and then walking the hands forwards. We're going to walk the hands all the way in front of us and stretch through that top body. And then gently supporting. If you've widened your feet, just heel toe them back in a wee bit. We're going to allow the feet just to really root through the mat. Bend the knees, engage the core, and draw yourself all the way back up by pushing into the feet and allowing yourself to come back up, heel toe into the center of the mat. I'm going to play with just balance in the center. Garudasana, I'm going to play with eagle. So we're going to gently bend the knees and allow ourselves to wrap our legs one over the other. And if my right leg's wrapped over the top, I'm going to do the opposite with my arms. My right arm is under. And take a moment with your concentration here. With the breath. Rooting through that standing leg. And then very gently unraveling. Coming back to center. Maybe just padding the feet. Rocking, lifting the toes. Bit of yoga for the feet. And then finding that firm root, bending into the pose and allowing the leg to wrap on the opposite side and the arm to wrap the opposite way. And if you wobble, then just take little toe out the front as a wee stabilizer. And find that focal point ahead of you. Don't forget the core, so don't collapse into this. Allow yourself to just lift those elbows very, very slightly, allowing the core to engage. Work with that breath as well. Gentle inhale or take an Ujjayi breath. And then gently unraveling the arms, unraveling the legs, and turning to face the top of the mat. Sweep the hands all the way up. And take the hands either side of you in big cactus arms, allowing the elbows just to come gently down. Shoulder blades gently to engage. Inhale, lift up. And back down again. Let the arms lift up, let the shoulders move naturally. And then hands all the way back to the heart. And we're going to step to the top of the mat. Finding yourself in Tadasana. We're going to step to Warrior Two. So hands for stability and kind of centering can come to the heart if you wish, or they can come either side. As we step all the way back to Warrior Two, turn the body gently to the side and allow ourselves that upright Warrior Two position. So you really have length from the center of the core all the way up to the head. Gently relax those shoulders, pinkies back. Turn the palm at the front, lift, reverse warrior. Bring that hand all the way forwards. Now you've got a choice. You can either balance the arm on your leg, or you can continue to go past and draw yourself into a deeper version of side angle. So either bringing the arm above, so you've got that lovely kind of diagonal line across the top to the heel of the foot, or allowing yourself to stack one or the other, and that top arm can always come to the waist. Wherever you are, we're going to push through the feet and lift back up to Warrior Two. We're going to lift ourselves up, so coming into that Trikonasana stance. And I want you to inhale and lengthen that spine. And as we lengthen the spine, I want you to allow yourself to float the top body rather than collapsing between the ribs and the waist. Hover the hand if you wish. And wherever the neck is comfy is where you should be looking. Push back all the way, Warrior Two, arms. Bring the hands and turn yourself to the front of the mat by turning into a high lunge, hands to the heart. And we're going to vinyasa. Plant the hands, step to plank. While you're in plank, if you wish to take a little hip dip, back and forwards, you're very welcome to have a wee play. Just a little bit of a waking up the core. Or just holding plank. And wherever you are, we're going to vinyasa. So bring to your knees if you need, or shift forward and maybe come to up dog if you want to. Meeting in down dog. And allowing that balance, so the even weight between the hands and the feet, the gentle hugging of the lower ribs and the core, allowing the neck to relax, allowing weight into the heels, but not pushing them. And bring your concentration to your breath. And then we're going to just come to the top of the mat, hopping, stepping, bringing yourself back up to mountain. Looping the shoulders back when you arrive, and taking a moment here. Finding Warrior Two on the opposite side. Stepping into Warrior Two. Really being aware of the feet, the soles of the feet connecting. And allow the arms to gently open. Shoulders relax. Pinkies back. And turn into reverse warrior by just flipping the palm and lifting high. Stretching all the way through that side body. Maybe that hand at the back can now just come into the small of the back with the palm facing out. Fingers in line with the arm, maybe even tucking the thumb in, but softly. Gently come into side angle, so you might just want to rest the arm and draw the arm past the ear, or you might want to stack and work with where the neck is comfy. Work with the breath too. And we're going to push through the feet as we move back up to Warrior Two. So use those legs to draw you up to Warrior Two. This is where we now lift and draw our inner thighs. Allow ourselves to engage the calf muscle at the front by pushing into our heel, protecting that knee joint. And inhale, give yourself length through the spine before we come over, allowing ourselves into Trikonasana. And remember that top shoulder can just gently sit with the hand on the waist if you need to. It's quite a nice variation. And then push all the way back up. Hands can come to the heart as we turn to the front of the mat. And we're going to vinyasa, but we're just going to take a little different vinyasa. We're going to bring the hands as wide as the yoga mat and step to wide press. And take a moment here, you might have to rock into the heels. Maybe taking the gaze long as we push back into the heel, giving that lovely length to the body, engaging the core, not letting the hips drop. Bring the knees to the mat, lift the toes, take the gaze a little higher, and then allowing the elbows to bend gently, bring yourself to the mat. Keeping the wide arms, tuck the chin, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift again, cobra variation. All the way back down to the mat. And tuck the hands gently, push ourselves so we can come all the way back to child's pose. Soft child's pose, even resting the hands on the forearms if you wish. Just allowing a place to rest. Allowing the breath to just move. And take one big inhale and exhale. And allow the breath just to return to that supporting yogic breath. And then we're going to move gently, staying at the back of the mat. We're going to play and draw ourselves up onto our knees, and we're going to play with the baby camel. Now, you can just allow the hands gently into the small of the back and just gently look forwards. Or you might find that you can draw maybe the right hand up and the left hand towards the back left foot. So a gently revolved camel here. And then hands come to the heart. And we open up to the other side. It might be that you have a deeper camel practice, or you're working with blocks. So you can gently work towards that practice. You might even be able to reach the heels. And allow that neck to go back, but be aware that it's not supported if you're doing that in any of the camel poses. Allowing those hips to remain facing forwards. And then wherever you are, coming back up to just that stacked position. I'm going to bring our hands to the mat and gently walk them forwards and bring ourselves back up into down dog. Stretching through the back. Allowing weight into the heels, even step as wide as the yoga mat if you wish. Before bringing yourself back into down dog.
and then stepping to the middle of the mat. Maybe zip the feet together, bend the knees, allow the hands to support around the back of the legs. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Push all the way through, back up to standing. Hands to the heart. Allow the shoulders to relax. I'm just going to play with a wee balance. Warrior 3 variation, you can keep your hands outstretched. I'm going to play with airplane arms. You can keep hands in heart. You can play with eagle arms. There's so many options. But we keep the integrity of the pose by placing that standing leg, allowing it to really root through the mat, and wherever we are, allowing the body to just lower forwards, just hugging those ribs, allowing the belly to core, allowing that back leg to just rise gently, keeping the toes either soft or dialed towards the mat. You might want to play with the hands. You might want to soften the knee and play with a little crouching pose back and forwards, depending on if you want to strengthen or play. Before we gently bring ourselves back up to standing. And allow yourself to center. Before weighting the opposite standing leg, and wherever you choose to play with a wee Warrior 3 variation. Keep that breath moving, so don't hold that breath. If you wobble, it does not matter. We're all in different places every day. And then all the way back to standing. Allow the neck to lengthen. Inhaling and exhaling. And then bring yourself all the way down to the mat. So you could just take the feet as wide as the yoga mat and gently sink and allow yourself to come into a little malasana at the front. And if you wish, and you're feeling comfortable in this little malasana, you can either have hands on the mat or to the heart. If you just gently take the top body forwards and bring the hands a little lower, if it's available to you, you might even be able to take a little bind. So the fingers interlace. If it's not available to you, doesn't matter, just playing. And here you might even think, okay, I'm at the back of the mat and I might need to move away from wood baskets and tables, but it might be that you're working on a little crow practice and keeping the gaze not tucked but towards the mat. You might find that you find that little perch, even that just movement, bringing the backs of the knees into the backs of the arms. We don't even have to be balancing, be straight legs. You might just be rocking. Or you might just start to fly. And when you start to fly, start to think about squeezing those knees and backs of the arms, squeezing the core, pushing away from the mat, and then lifting and seeing if you can hold a bit longer. If it's not available to you, it doesn't matter. Just working, just that movement here, working out where, even lifting one toe and just gently moving. So where we start to balance is when we start to get the elbows stacked above the wrist, but it is tricky on the wrist, so really push away from the mat. And if you're as hot as me, because it is so humid, take a moment here, maybe even a little forward fold. Before we come down into the center of the mat, sweep the feet to the side and allow ourselves just to bring ourselves into a little seated position, looping the shoulders back. Maybe taking the hands, gently dropping back, taking a full boat if you wish, or a little half boat here. And take some breaths. Breathing through this. Before just bringing yourself to the mat into Dandasana, allowing the legs long, tucking the pelvis gently under, zipping the legs together, hands gently by the side. Take a moment here. You might even wish to come into a twist, and that's optional, or you might just feel just pushing these legs into the mat, looping the shoulders, grounding the hands is just enough. Before we gently move ourselves all the way down to the mat, allow ourselves to roll down and allow that back to settle, drawing the feet just to the edge of the mat and allowing the knees to come together. Maybe even taking the hands just wide and really allowing our body just to settle. Or hands on the belly. Bringing the knees into the chest. And then just gently circling the knees. Back and forwards. Or maybe extending one leg long. Stretching all the way, bringing it to the mat even. Gently supporting the other leg with the hands. Changing, drawing the leg in and allowing the other leg to lengthen. Bringing the knees both back in. Placing the feet as wide as the yoga mat. And just allowing a gentle supine twist. the feet to one side and allowing the knees to come into a fuller supine twist. Maybe drawing the arms out and even looking in the opposite direction to the knee. Breathing gently into the supine twist. Drawing ourselves to the opposite side. And then allowing yourself to slowly come into Shavasana, maybe with a blanket or some cozy socks. And we've got plenty of time just to let ourselves settle. And really be mindful about your Shavasana. So if you've got any lower back pain or issues at all, then bend the knees. You might just want to bend the knees or prop a pillow under them. Or you might want to allow them in a constructive rest pose so that the knees come together and the feet are on the outer edge of the mat. Or if you've chosen a full Shavasana, allow the heels to just be gently apart, the toes just to gently turn away from each other. And then allow a small space between the body and the arms, settling the shoulders just underneath you, allowing the palms to face up. And then start to let every single muscle in your body relax. So start to feel that the backs of the heels are heavy, they're like lead weights. So are the legs. And allow that breath just to be gentle. When you get to your hips, take a big breath, big inhale, and send the exhale to anywhere that feels that there's any tension. And settling the shoulders at the beginning of Shavasana has allowed us to really settle the spine on the mat. So feel that length. And feel the weight in the back of the shoulders, extending down the back of the arms, extending into the fingers, and allowing the back of the head to feel settled. And then feel a softening over the front of the body, so softening the jaw, the gaze, the breath. And then allow that breath just to be very natural, just rise and fall. Allowing yourself to sink deeper into Shavasana. if your mind starts to wander or it goes to the to-do lists, the lists and things that just are endless, allow your mind to just take it back to the breath. Allow yourself to consciously inhale and exhale. Aware of those sensations, that air above you, maybe even noises beyond your mat. Bringing that awareness back to the breath. And then start to connect again with the feeling in the body of movement, allowing very soft movement into the hands, into the toes. And then really slowly turn to your side. Not moving to Sukhasana yet, just maybe curl the knees into you and pause. Just taking a moment and then very slowly, even with the eyes still gently shut, bring yourself back up to seated. Just allowing that feeling of stillness just to still be part of your practice. Now we bring the hands together. Gently inhale, exhale, and thank you very much for joining the practice this evening.